Hi guys, let me know if the audio is coming. I'll just check it from here as well. Okay, there's an ad playing. Hold on, just check if the audio is coming from my phone. Hello. Today we are going to start Manusmriti, the 4th chapter. Atha Chaturthodhyaya. Okay, audio seems to be fine. So we'll start now. So, the 4th chapter of Manusmriti is about earning of livelihood and the vows of Grihasthas. Let's see what we learn new today. The Dvija, the Brahmin, having resided at the house of his Guru during the first part of his life, that is, the first part of his life shall be devoted to study and observing the vows of Brahmacharya, and then in the second part of his life he shall marry a woman and live in his house and assume the responsibilities of a householder, a Grihastha. In times of no distress, that is when peace times are going on, the Dvija shall indeed seek to live the life of a Grihastha, that is, he shall earn his living causing no pain to men and animals or causing the least pain to them. I love how flexible Manusmriti sounds at times. Okay, there's always examples like, okay, you are supposed to do this. Unless you have too many problems, unless it becomes impossible, then it's okay. Then you have some leeway. So, living causing no pain to men and animals or causing the least pain to them. Okay. He shall do such works and earn wealth which are irreproachable, that is, which do not disgrace his social order, and which do not entail much hardship to him or cause pain to his body. Okay, I guess the audio went away. Okay, I'm online. Okay, the OBS was gone for a while, but I'm back now. Okay. So hi Rohan, hi Abhay, saw your video on Robi Thakur. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I didn't know about it. I didn't know about that either. I came to know about it from Sanjay Dikshit's podcast in his latest Ask Me Anything, and someone he had brought on someone to discuss that whether Shivaji was Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj was he secular. So I have a book that I bought from the CPIM bookstall in Durga Puja this last year. So they will obviously argue that Shivaji Maharaj was a secular hero of some sort. I intend to read it because it's fun and it's one of the rare Bengali sources for discussing anything related to Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. And while listening to his speech, his podcast, during the first few minutes, I haven't even listened to the whole thing. That man ends up suddenly saying that, he was such a great man that this guy wrote about him, and suddenly he says, he was so great that Rabindranath Tagore wrote a poem about him, and I was like, wait, what? Rabindranath Tagore wrote a poem on Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj? So I immediately had to Google it, find out translations, etc. I did have the translation myself because the translation was so unreadable and in Shakespearean language, and everywhere there were excerpts only. Even the English translation, you will never find the full translation of the poem. Okay, on internet I have found only up till the third last paragraph, so most of it is translated by me only. So then I decided that I have to do this video, but I was thinking that maybe I'll do a live stream as well, and if enough people ask for it, I'll probably do a live stream later on as well, because there is a lot to discuss in the poem itself, because there are very significant things he says. There are very many topics he discusses, but anyway, we'll discuss that in the separate live stream if we ever do it about that poem. Okay, so the Brahmin who becomes a Grihastha is not supposed to do works that are physically demanding, because he's supposed to concentrate on his academics. The Dvija shall never follow the ways of the world for his subsistence. Yeah, the Dvija shall never follow the ways of the world for his subsistence. That is, he shall never do the works which are done by common people to earn their livelihood. He shall live an honest, artless and pure life and do the works prescribed by the Vedas. He who is the seeker of happiness shall have perfect faith in contentment and be self-restrained in the pursuit of wealth, because the root of happiness in life is contentment, and the root of unhappiness and all miseries is the contrary, that is, greed. So this is always, anyone who is following my live streams in every day will find out that how interesting this is, that we are reading the similar things in Brahma Puran, History of Indian Philosophy, and in Manusmriti. They are all talking about that desire kam karo, and there's this modern Western narrative that you are not supposed to have expectations, which is kind of shifting the blame on the person you are supposed to have or not have expectations from, right? It's kind of saying like, अच्छा मुझे पता है तुमसे नहीं होगा, मुझे जो चाहिए तुमसे तुम दे नहीं पाओगे, so I'll not have expectations. But desire comes even before that. Desire is kama or ichha. Expectation is asha. So they are two different concepts. They have two different words to describe them. So why should you have desire? So that's the Indic way of thinking, that don't even have the desire. You are having desire, therefore having the expectation. Then you are saying that no, I'll avoid the expectation part, because you think so less of the people around you. So you are the one to be blamed for having the desire in the first place. So that kind of gives you ownership and makes you accountable for it. Therefore, okay, now the vows of the Grihasthas. Therefore, the Dvija who is a Snataka shall do one of the occupations mentioned above, and shall adopt and observe the rules of conduct which secure happiness, long life, and fame. The Dvija shall always perform his duties as prescribed by the Vedas without any indolence, because indeed by so doing his duties according to his ability, he attains the highest state. He shall not seek to earn wealth with the company of the wicked persons, and neither by acts which are forbidden by the Vedas. He shall also not strive to earn money by any crooked means if he possesses wealth, nor even if he is in distress, that is, in want of wealth, that is, he requires money or something, from any source or person. So see, if someone's joining in our Manusmriti live streams for the first time today, every page will be going on breaking all the narratives and myths that we know about Manusmriti in the mainstream world. Look at these phrases. What are they saying? They are recommending such a tough life for a Brahmin. ये किसने follow किया है? They blame Manusmriti for the social distortions and the oppressions and untouchability that happened. They don't say that Manusmriti is the one book which is recommending the toughest life for Brahmins. If at all the Brahmins, the Kshatriyas who oppressed the lower classes, even though every caste was oppressing the caste lower to them, we know that. But from Savarkar's letters to Ambedkar. But anyway, ये फॉलो तो नहीं किया. मनुस्मृति को ब्लेम करोगे कि अच्छा कास्टिज्म था, वो फॉलो कर लिया इसलिए मनुस्मृति खराब है. तो मनुस्मृति में जो अच्छा लिखा है, जो टफ लिखा है, वो तो फॉलो नहीं किया. तो व्हाई ब्लेम मनुस्मृति? Okay. He shall not, out of desire for pleasures of the senses, addict himself to the objects of sense gratification. Let him obviate from these extreme attachment by constantly reflecting in his mind on their worthlessness. दिमाग में सोचते रहोगे कितना worthless है ये सब इच्छा वगैरह. He shall avoid all those means of acquiring wealth which impede in his study of the Veda. वेद पढ़ना, वेद समझना, ये कभी डिस्ट्रैक्टेड नहीं होना है इससे. Therefore, stop thinking about money. भिक्षा तो मिल ही जाएगा. Let him maintain his study and teaching of the Veda by anyhow supporting his family, because that is indeed the success in his life. He shall daily pursue the Shastras and Nigamas that explain the Vedas, which give increase of wisdom, that is, improve the intellect, and which teach about the acquisition of wealth, and which are beneficial for otherworldly concerns. He shall also regularly study them. हाँ, सिर्फ पढ़ाने से नहीं होगा, खुद का knowledge भी बनाना पड़ेगा continuously. Furthermore, a man properly studies the Shastras, the institutes of knowledge indeed, the more he fully understands them, and the more he acquires proficiency in them, and thus his great learning shines brightly, and he is more interested in these sciences. The Grihastha shall at times perform the Brahma Yagya, the Deva Yagya, the Balivaishva Yagya, the Atithi Yagya, and the Pitri Yagya according to his ability. He shall never neglect these Panchamaha Yagyas. Certainly the Grihastha shall daily offer oblations in the fire at the beginning and at the end of day and the night. He shall also perform the Darsha and the Paurnamasa Homa at the end of the fortnights. No atithi shall stay at the house of the Grihastha without being properly honored and served according to his ability, with a seat, food, a couch, and with water, edible roots or flowers. That is, an atithi shall always be received with due hospitality, but again, according to his ability. अगर कुछ afford नहीं कर पा रहा है तो ठीक है. The Grihastha shall not honor even with a greeting those persons who are heretics, that is, who do not believe in the Vedas, and those who do forbidden occupations, those who are cat-natured, the rogues, the logicians, and also those who behave like herons. अच्छा, तो चार्वका बुद्धिस्ट इनका जैन्स इनका घर में आना मना है, गृहस्थ घुसने नहीं देगा. If he is following 100% the Manusmriti, which most Brahmins don't, मगर अगर अचानक ये फॉलो कर ले तो ये मनुस्मृति का दोष होगा. The Grihastha shall worship, that is, honor and revere with food and other items like clothes, etc. Isko, those who have completed their study of the Vedas and have maintained their vows of brahmacharya and are now qualified snatakas or scholars, and also those householders who are masters of the Vedas, and they shall avoid those who are different. So those who are different meaning those who are not these things. It is the duty of the Grihastha, without detriment to his household, to give food to those who are not capable to cook, that is, to the brahmachari, the sannyasi, etc. And he shall also give to the poor, the animals and the birds their share of food. ये थोड़ा mark कर लेते हैं, animal love. It has come repeatedly, animal love. The Grihastha shall keep his hairs, nails and his beard regularly clipped, and subduing his passions, wearing clean clothes, he shall always keep himself pure and shall be engaged in the study of the Vedas for his own welfare. He shall not approach his wife during the days her menses appear, though he may be mad with desire, and also he shall not sleep with her on the same bed. Menstruation ke waqt. The man who goes unto his wife who is in her period of menses, his intellect, vigor, strength, vision, and also his vitality are certainly impaired. He who avoids her while she is in her menses, for him, wisdom, energy, strength, eyesight, and vitality certainly increase. He must not travel or ride a beast of burden which is untrained, nor an animal which is hungry or suffering from disease, nor whose horns are broken, or the eyes and the hoofs are injured and the tail is mutilated. One more example of animal love. कि इंज्योर्ड एनिमल को इस्तेमाल मत करो, उसको और एक्स्ट्रा कष्ट मत दो. But he shall always travel with the beasts which are well trained, swift and endowed with lucky handsome marks, and with good colors and form, without hitting them too much with the whip. He shall not stay together with the degraded persons, with the chandalas, the pulkasas, the illiterate, and with those who are purse proud, that is, who are proud of their money, nor with the low caste men who always think vile. Alright. He shall wake up in the Brahma Muhurta, that is 48 minutes before sunrise, and meditate on Dharma piety and the right means to acquire wealth, and about the ailments of body, if any, and their cause, and also about the true import of the Vedas. Having left his bed, he shall attend to the necessities of nature, and having washed himself, he shall sit down in the morning and perform Samdhya devotion to the god, with a concentrated mind and for a longer time, and also do Gayatri Japa, and perform at the proper time the evening Samdhya too. The Rishis, by prolonging their time in the devotional act of Samdhya, that is, meditation, obtained long life, wisdom. The Rishis, by proclaiming their time in the devotional act of Samdhya, which is meditation, they obtained long life, wisdom, honor, fame, and also excellence in Vedic knowledge. The Dvija Snataka shall remain chaste, that is, brahmachari, on the new moon day, on the 8th lunar date of each half month, on the full moon day, and on the 14th, even during the season for conjugal intercourse, if it falls during these lunar dates. Amavasya mashtamim cha paurnamasim chaturdashim brahmachari bhavennitya mapirito snatako dvija. Okay, next. The Dvija shall not associate with an enemy, and with the friend of an enemy, with a person who is wicked, that is, who does not observe Dharma, with the thief, and also with the wife of another man. Good. Certainly, here in this world, there is no known act which is as detrimental to the long life of a man as the act of visiting another man's wife. Again, something Ravan did. The Grihastha shall not despise himself, if ever being wealthy in the past and then having been struck by misfortune. Instead, he shall seek fortune until death, but shall never think that it is a despair. This is so beautiful. कभी पहले अरे अमीर थे फिर सब पैसा चला गया. So don't think of it as despair. You're not supposed to think of it as despair, but instead keep working hard and keep working towards having some more money in future again. The Grihastha shall always speak the truth which is pleasant. He shall not speak that truth which is not pleasant, nor speak any falsehood which is pleasing. Okay, this is interesting. He shall not speak that truth which is not pleasant, nor speak any falsehood which is pleasing. This is eternal virtue, the Sanatan Dharma. ये तो काफी controversial लग रहा है. Some people may have other translations. It says Satyam Bruyat Priyam Bruyanna Bruyat Satyam Priyam Priyam Cha Nanritam Bruyadesha Dharma Sanatana. He shall not speak that truth which is not pleasant. Okay, maybe if everything is a matter of context, तो ब्राह्मण जो गृहस्थ है तो वो नहीं भी बोले तो ठीक है. कोई अगर और बोल देगा तो ठीक है. क्षत्रिय है, वैश्य है. Interesting, but the grihastha shall therefore always say what is good as good, that is, he shall speak that which is beneficial to all. He shall not engage himself with whomsoever in any useless enmity, nor even in any futile dispute. Okay, remember in the beginning of this Manusmriti translation, they had said that shlokas which seem contradictory to each other, one of them should be ignored. So, dekho, this is kind of contradictory to what we just read. Okay, the grihastha shall therefore always say what is good as good, that is, he shall speak that which is beneficial to all. So, agar aisa koi sach which is not pleasant, what if that is beneficial to all? Then is the grihastha, the Brahmin grihastha, supposed to say it or not supposed to say it? So it's kind of a confusing thing because these are later interpolations. These are not all written by Raja Manu himself. He shall not insult any person who has bodily defects, that is, possessing limbs in excess or less, nor make fun of those who are devoid of personal beauty or wealth, those who are advanced in age and those of the low class. See, one thing you'll always realize reading Manusmriti is that no body shaming. I mean, that's what I'm marking here. But anyway, my point is that when you read Manusmriti, you will realize that a lot of the things that Hindus take for granted, especially atheist Hindus, liberal Hindus, commie Hindus in India, a lot of the things that they think are universally good behaviors and good culture they have received from their family or in the country that they observe, they think that these can be done even without dharma, without being Hindu. They think that you don't need to be religious to do these things. I'm a good person anyway. I'm objectively a good person. I'm good without any definition. What they don't realize is most of the good behaviors, good achar, vichar, behaviors, customs we have in India, almost all of them come from Manusmriti. Respecting your teachers, how to behave in front of a teacher, all those things come from Manusmriti. मनुस्मृति में यहाँ पे बोल रहा है बॉडी शेम मत करो. इसके लिए हमको वोक बनना पड़ेगा, बाल नीला करना पड़ेगा थोड़ी. मनुस्मृति में लिखा है बॉडी शेम मत करो. He shall constantly be engaged in auspicious conduct and being self-controlled, be careful of self-purity, that is, having his mind and the senses under his control. He shall also do the recitation of the mantras of Samdhyopasana and also offer oblations in the sacred fire without any indolence. Calamity is known to befall to those who are always engaged in auspicious conduct and who are ever careful of self-purity and daily do japa and homa. I am sorry, I read the exact opposite thing. Calamity is not known to befall. That's why I was thinking, what the hell is going on? Calamity is not known to befall to those who are always engaged in auspicious conduct and who are ever careful of self-purity and daily do japa and homa. Indeed, the daily study of the Veda at the proper time is declared to be the highest duty of the Dvija, and all other acts and observances are called secondary duties. He who daily studies the Veda, by its study and by purity of his self, and by the performance of tapa, and also by bearing no malice, no hatred to the created beings, obtains the faculty of remembering his former births. He who remembers his past and is again engaged in the study of the Vedas, by the constant study of the Vedas, he gains endless bliss. Okay, एक side note है यहाँ पे. Endless bliss does not mean eternal happiness or beatitudes. It only means the full and complete period of moksha, which is limited because it is the result of the limited karmas performed by the jiva soul. The Grihashta shall welcome the elders, that is, those who are learned in the Vedas. Those who are learned in the Vedas. The Grihastha shall welcome them. And the venerable old men, and joining his hands, he shall greet them namaste. And he shall offer them even his own seat. And when they are leaving, he shall go after them. That is, accompany them to the gate. अब कोई लिबरल हिंदू आके बोलेगा दिस इज जस्ट नॉर्मल रेस्पेक्टफुल बिहेवियर, इसमें रिलीजन कहाँ से गया, इसमें धर्म कहाँ से आ गया? दिस इज रिटन इन मनुस्मृति. Okay, Binay is saying something unfortunate which I can't help. Binay is saying Dada, English is not the perfect language for translation. It is not. Yes, I agree 100%. Even Vivek Debra translation has fault. अच्छा, fault है कि नहीं वो समझने के लिए भी मुझे तो ओरिजिनल वाला जानना पड़ेगा. But the problem is that what to do. मुझे हिंदी पढ़ना नहीं आता है, संस्कृत पढ़ना नहीं आता है, क्या करूँ? बंगाली में मनुस्मृति पढ़ सकता हूँ मगर उस पर तो वीडियो नहीं बना पाऊंगा. So we are getting some a rough gist of the matter at least. I'll have to be happy with that. Be at peace with this. That at least I'm getting the basic gist of it without knowing Hindi or Sanskrit. The Grihastha shall be ever engaged in the performance of the occupations of the social order to which he belongs to, and he shall properly observe. अच्छा, social order का क्या है? Translation देखते हैं. श्रुतिस मृत्युदितम सम्यंग निबद्धम स्वेषु कर्मषु धर्ममूलम निषेविता सदाचार मतंड्रिता. पता नहीं इसमें सोशल ऑर्डर कौन सा वर्ड का ट्रांसलेशन है, लिखते हैं. श्रुति स्मृति उदितम डिक्लेयर्ड इन श्रुति. सोशल ऑर्डर द रूट ऑफ धर्मा अतंद्रिया डिलिजेंटली इन हिज ऑक्यूपेशंस. निबद्धम एंगेज्ड. निषेविता मीन्स ऑब्जर्व. धर्ममूलम मीन्स रूट ऑफ धर्मा. सदाचारम. अच्छा, तो ये कॉन्टेक्स्ट समझ के ट्रांसलेटर ने खुद बोल दिया है कि ये सोशल ऑर्डर होगा. Then through good conduct a man obtains long life, acquires desirable progeny and imperishable wealth. Indeed, virtuous conduct destroys the inauspicious traits of a person. Indeed, in this world a man of bad conduct is blamed and condemned. He constantly suffers misfortunes and is afflicted with disease and is certainly short-lived. He who believes in truth and is free from envy and is a man of good conduct, though destitute of all auspicious traits, lives 100 years. He who believes in truth and is free from envy and is a man of good conduct, तो ये आदमी अगर destitute of all auspicious traits भी हो, फिर भी he will live 100 years. This theme also is we found it repeated in Brahma Puran. Here even Ravan is the similar concept that जितना भी तुम religious acts कर लो, अगर बाकी कामों में अगर दिल में खोट है, अगर if you are a wicked person, otherwise it's not going to help you. On the other hand, even if you are and is a man of good conduct, though even if you are destitute of all auspicious traits, even then, if you believe in truth, if you are free from envy, you are a man of good conduct, then you live 100 years, which means you obviously live longer because you have happier health, etc. No one wants to kill you, all those things. All works which make one depend on others, he shall studiously avoid, and he shall pursue diligently whatever works shall be under his control. ये advice है तो द्विजा के लिए, but I wonder if this is advice for other people as well. But see what a beautiful concept this is. Every athlete, every military personality will always tell you that control the controllable. बहुत से चीज़ें हैं जो कि हमारे कंट्रोल में नहीं है, उसके बारे में हम कुछ कर नहीं सकते. तो जितना कंट्रोल के अंदर है वही करके दिखाओ. All that depends on others is pain. Aha. Nice. Let me mark this as great wisdom parts. all that depends on others is pain, and that which depends on oneself is happiness. Exactly. Because whatever you do on your own, you have earned it, right? Because if you work really hard and उससे जो पैसा मिले, you feel proud of that. Because अगर 10 पैसा भी earn हुआ है तो earn तो हुआ है, खुद से ही तो कमाया है. This is in short, that's why self-esteem cannot be shoved down someone's throat, which is the basic problem that woke people don't understand. कि self-esteem movement, सब लोग मिलके उसको अच्छा तुम बहुत अच्छे हो ये बोल के self-esteem लाने का कोशिश किया जा रहा है, मगर वैसा होता नहीं है. Self-esteem has always been achieved by earning something. It will always be that way. Fake चीज़ों से, fake self-esteem से actual self-esteem नहीं होता है. तो जैसे कि workout is so important, that's why. If you work out, you know that whatever body you have earned it. And that gives you such a boost in mental health. जो लोग वर्कआउट करते नहीं, they are always more prone to mental health problems. Because self-esteem गड्ढे में है. So because they are not doing what is dependent on them. So they are consciously avoiding being happy by not working out. This is in short the definition of happiness and pain. That is, liberty is happiness, where dependence is misery. क्या बात है, क्या लाइन है. ऑफ मनुस्मृति, सच अ मिसअंडरस्टूड टेक्स्ट. कोई न्यू बुद्धिस्ट आके उस दिन कमेंट सेक्शन में बोल रहा था कि हाँ, हर टेक्स्ट में ही 10% तो अच्छा चीज़ें होगा ही. उसने पूरा मैथ्स किया है, पूरा सब श्लोक मिला के उसने एक सम पे पहुंचा है. एग्जैक्ट 10% अच्छा है मनुस्मृति में. The work by doing which his heart is satisfied, that is, while doing it he does not feel fear, doubt and shame, that he shall do it studiously, but he shall avoid the contrary. He shall not offend nor hurt his acharya, the preacher of the Vedas, his father and mother, his guru, nor the brahmana, the cows, and shall not offend the ascetics, sadhu vagara. He shall certainly not disobey their teachings and instructions. He shall avoid atheism, which is nastika, which is not believing in Vedas, obviously. He shall avoid atheism, reviling the Vedas, contempt of the devas, that is, the learned and pious men, and also he should shun hatred, pride, honor, that causes vanity, anger and harshness. Again we see मनुस्मृति फॉलो करके कास्टिज्म आ गया. तो ये सब किसने फॉलो किया था? जो लोग कास्टिज्म कर रहे थे, अनटचेबिलिटी ला रहे थे, उन लोगों ने ये सब फॉलो किया था क्या? मनुस्मृति को दोष देकर क्या होगा? He shall not raise a stick against another man, nor strike anyone when angry. ये देखो, कास्ट वायलेंस में ये कहां से आ गया? मनुस्मृति का क्या दोष हुआ? मेरे को ये मार्क कर लेता हूं, because I was invited on a podcast to talk about Manusmriti, even though I have not even read it in whole. So I need to go through this as fast as possible. So yeah, fake criticism लिख के मार्क कर लेता हूँ ये. ऐसे बहुत सारे एग्जाम्पल आते रहते हैं. ओके, लेट मी चेक सम कमेंट्स. बहुत सारे कमेंट्स आ गए. Binay Singh is saying that Gita Press is the best translation for interpretation of any Shastra. Yes, I know. Nityanand Mishra has said in his video with Rajiv Malhotra. Yeah, and I've heard many of the people I trust in the Indic wing say these same things, but I could not find Gita Press's English translation of Manusmriti online. That is the problem. Ravya, yeah, I saw Nityanand Mishra's that video about Dr. Rammohan Roy's video. Interesting. We need a lot of Shastras now. We need Kushal Mehra and abhijit iyer mitra debating Jesai Deepak. वो हो नहीं पा रहा है. We need Tufel Chaturvedi and Nityanand Mishra debating, and we need Dr. Raja Rammohan Roy debating Nilesh Oak. ये सब मजा आएगा. Rohan Satra is saying, in which podcast, Dada? I guess you mean where did I learn of Sanjay Dixit talking about Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj being Rabindranath writing a poem on him, right? That's his recent podcast with the video is called Was Shivaji Secular? That's the name of the video. There he said it. Okay. He shall not raise a stick against another man, nor strike anyone when angry. He may beat his son and pupil while giving instructions in order to correct them. However, this beating should not be out of anger, but he should show anger outwardly and cherish love for them in his heart. You know how Indian this sounds. You know so many teachers that you must have read under who have behaved exactly this way, who have maybe given you a beating, a little bit of beating in your school or in your tuition, but when the class has ended or after you have passed out from the school, you have had nothing but a great relationship with that teacher. We are all unknowingly following Manusmriti a whole lot of times in our day, okay? And when we don't even know it. He who is not righteous in his life and whose wealth has been acquired by falsehood and who is always engaged in violence, certainly he shall never attain happiness in the world. Okay, important. Seeing the speedy reverses and overthrow of those who are the unrighteous in this world, he shall always abide by the rule of Dharma, though suffering any consequences, but shall never turn his mind towards unrighteousness. Unrighteousness practiced in this world does not produce its fruits at once, like the cow which does not give milk immediately, but advancing slowly. Though that doing of those unrighteous works, it cuts the roots of all happiness of the doer who committed it. Slowly, slowly, zindagi jhand hoga. If ever the punishment of an iniquity does not fall on the doer himself, then it falls on his children, and if not, then at least on his grandchildren. But certainly, any iniquity of the doer does not go fruitless. No one ever gets away with anything. That is the core. Through unrighteousness, he prospers for a while, and sees many a good fortune, and even conquers his enemies through unjust means. But thereafter, he attains destruction. That is, he is destroyed branch and root by the result of the iniquities. He shall be always practicing the true Dharma, and also maintaining his conduct worthy of an Arya, abiding by the rules of both outward and inner purity, and constantly keeping his tongue, arms, and belly under control. Meaning he shall not eat like a madman. He shall indeed teach his pupils according to the law, that is Dharma. He shall avoid the acquisition of wealth and gratification of his desires, which are certainly opposed to Dharma, and he shall even avoid these acts which are legal but are offensive to men, and which may cause pain in future. He shall avoid all fickleness of hands, feet, eyes, and speech, and he shall also avoid crookedness, and he shall never think to do harm to others. He shall follow the path in which his fathers and his grandfathers walked, but only if his fathers and great-grandfathers were learned and pious men, right? And if he follows their path, he shall certainly not suffer pain. Yeah. What if your father or great-grandfather were bad men? तब भी जाके follow करोगे क्या? So Manusmriti makes the specification that only if his fathers and great-grandfathers were learned and pious men, tab follow their path. He shall not engage in quarrels or useless disputes with the officiating priest, the family priest, the teacher, the maternal uncles, the guests, the dependent ones, the children, and the old ones, with the sick persons, the physicians, the relatives, and with the in-laws, and with those relations after marriage, and also with his father, his mother, his female relatives, his brothers, sons, his wife and daughters, and with his servants. तो बेसिकली किसी के साथ भी क्वारल नहीं करना है. इंटरेस्टिंग. नो क्वारल विथ एनी वन. ये कौन फॉलो करता है? स्पेशली कितने ब्राह्मण फॉलो कर पाते होंगे? A Brahmana, though he is entitled to accept presents, he shall avoid attachment, that is, greed of receiving gifts, and accumulate wealth, for this too much habit of gift-taking certainly extinguishes the divine light of Brahmanhood in him. Okay. Dekho, this is why I bought this book. Sanjay Dixit had said that if someone actually reads Manusmriti, they will learn that the toughest life is recommended for the Brahmana. Okay. The learned Brahmana shall not accept any gift if he does not know the rule governing the acceptance of gifts and others as prescribed by Dharma, even if he may be overwhelmed by hunger. बहुत ही important है. The learned Brahmana shall not accept any gift if he does not know the rule governing the acceptance of gifts from others as prescribed by Dharma, even if he may be overwhelmed by hunger. But the Brahmana who is devoid of the good qualities like tapa and is unread in the Vedas and fond of accepting gifts from others sinks in the ocean of miseries together with the donor Just like the man who attempts to cross over in a boat made of stone is submerged in the water together with the boat. Bad, bad. बहुत. Let me mark this as tough for Brahmins. This is another important observation for anyone who actually reads Manusmriti. A virtuous man who strictly abides by Dharma shall never welcome or honor or even give some water to a Brahmana who is cat-natured, not who is cunning sort of, not to the one who behave like a crane, and not to the one who is unread in the Vedas. Yeah, this is a repetition. The wealth earned through Dharma, if given as gift to these three kinds of Brahmana, the giver and even to the receiver, to both of them it becomes a curse, that is, a cause of misery in their present life and also the next world. Just like the man who tries to cross over in a boat sinks into the water, even so, the ignorant river and the one who accepts, both of them sink low into the ocean of miseries. The Brahmana who always displays the flag of Dharma, but is not so in practical life, and is ever covetous, a hypocrite, deceitful, harmful, and keep the company of all classes of people, know him to be the one who acts like the cat. And the Brahmana who keeps his eyes cast down to conceal his true motives, who is of a cruel disposition, and always ready to do any vile act to achieve his selfish aim, who is dishonest and falsely gentle, is someone who acts like a crane. Crane के साथ compare कर दिया, crane जो bird है. Tough for Brahmins. He shall not bathe in the tank made by others because he shall be tainted with the impurities of the owner. That is, it is not hygienic to bathe in the same water. हाँ, अब देखो ये तो untouchability का justification बना देगा लोग तो ये सब follow किया है. He shall always take his bath in the rivers, in the natural lakes, in the ponds and the fountains. हाँ, ये follow नहीं किया. And in the springs where there is running water. The wise man who constantly observes the yamas, vows of personal discipline, but not always observe the niyamas, that is vows of social discipline, he meets his fall because he observes only yamas, ignoring the niyamas. Okay, niyam and yam. I did not know this distinction. The Dvija shall always perform his duty of giving gift donation for the purpose of ishtis, that is, donation to do yagyas of all types and to do works of purta, that is, acts of pious liberation for the welfare of all, like building reservoirs, roads, schools, hospitals, etc., through cheerfulness of heart and according to his ability. Donation भी देना है, खुद भिक्षा भी मांगना है, donation भी देना है. Tough. Indeed, the gift of the knowledge of the Vedas, that is Veda Vidya, is superior to the gift of water, food, cereals, land, clothes, sesamum, gold and ghee. Without giving pain to any creature, slowly acquire and accumulate spiritual merits, that is Dharma, for the sake of a companion in the next world, just like the white ants raise their anthill studiously. For certainly there, in the next world, neither the father nor the mother, neither the sons nor the wife, the children, nor the relations stay to be his companion. Only Dharma, the spiritual merits accumulated, stands by him. What a deep line. Let me mark this. कोई नहीं रहेगा, सिर्फ धर्म रह जाएगा साथ में. Alone does a creature come into being. That is, like all creatures, man also is born alone, and certainly alone he dies. Alone he enjoys the reward of his good deeds, and indeed he suffers the consequences of his sin alone. Meaning, okay, this is the next shlok. One man commits crime to procure objects, and the relations enjoy together, but the guilt will lie on the sinner, whereas those who enjoyed shall not be guilty of the crime. So, okay, this is interesting. One man commits crime to procure objects, and the relations enjoy together, but the guilt will lie on the sinner, whereas those who enjoyed shall not be guilty of the crime. Acha. If someone buys something and someone else benefits from the thief, they will not be the ones guilty of the crime. The sinner will be only guilty. After death, the relatives leave the dead body on the ground like a log of wood or a clog of earth, and turning their face they go away. It is only Dharma that follows the soul to the world. Therefore, always accumulate Dharma, gradually, for the sake of companion to the next world. Because by the company of dharma virtue, because by the company of dharma, virtue accumulated, one is certainly able to sail across the ocean of difficult gloom. Important because of dharma. The man who is solely devoted to his dharma and who by constant practice of austerities burns his sin, that dharma promptly conducts his soul to the next world, that is, to the all-radiant and the ethereal body, the Paramatman. He who desires the improvement of his family, let him always live in the company of nobler families and avoid the low and mean ones. A Brahmana who always lives, that is, keeps company of the progressively nobler and nobler families and avoids the inferior ones, obtains the most distinguished nobility, but if he does contrary, he falls down and becomes a Shudra. He who is, but this is not justifying hereditary though. They are not yet saying anywhere that hereditarily सब लोग शूद्र बनना है. He who is ever preserving, keeping his vows, is gentle, has proper control over his senses, and shuns the company of those who are of cruel conduct, and does no injury to any living creature. By Dhamma, control of his mind, and Dana, donations and gifts, gains happiness. That person who describes about himself in a different way, that is, conceals the truth about himself to the virtuous men, he is the most sinful wretch in this world. He is a thief and a killer of his self. खुद के बारे में ठीक से नहीं बताना. Okay, refer to translation ने बोला है कि refer to Yajurveda 40 about Atma Hano Jana. These are the people who are killing their self because they are not revealing their true nature. This is crazy. Rohan Satra, how can we Bengali Hindus decommunize people? Please share your opinion. Keep posting on social media, keep talking to your friends, keep having debates. News तो कुछ करेगा नहीं. The meanings of all things and activities are determined in speech, that is, in the spoken words. Speech is the root from which emanate all activities. But that man who steals the speech, that is, speaks falsehood, lies, is said to be the stealer of all, as he is dishonest in respect to speech. Therefore, he is dishonest to everything. Having duly accomplished, that is, discharged his duties of a Grihastha as prescribed, and redeemed the debts to the rishis by Brahma Yagya, to the parents by Pitri Yagya, to the Devas by Deva Yagya, to all other people by Balivaishva Yagya and Atithi Yagya, he shall step to the next stage of life, the Vanaprastha Ashrama. Okay. This is when the Grihastha becomes a forest dweller. He shall entrust all household responsibilities to his son, and shall live in solitude, being indifferent to worldly concerns. क्या tough recommendations है भाई. ये भी कितने लोग फॉलो कर रहे थे जबकि कास्टिज्म हो रहा था. Seated in a lonely place, he shall alone meditate on that which is salutary for his soul, because he who meditates constantly in solitude attains the supreme bliss. Thus is declared the eternal duties of the Dvija Grihastha, and also for the Snataka Grihastha, who are eager to increase the holy and sattva qualities in his life. The Dvija, who is learned in the Vedas and the Shastras, shunning all vices and being sinless, shall thus conduct himself in earning his livelihood and accumulating dharma, and thus be ever happy and constantly glorified in the world of God. Iti Grihastha Vritti Vratat Makashcha Chaturthodhyaya. The end of chapter 4 on the subjects, the means of earning of livelihood for the Grihastha, and on the vows of married life. Okay, this is where we end our live stream today. In the next live stream, we will start with Atha Panchamodhyaya, chapter 5, which is about diet permissible and forbidden. कौन सा diet permissible है, कौन सा forbidden है, purification of the body and the objects of use, and about the dharma of the woman. अच्छा, देखते हैं यहाँ पे क्या क्या controversial है कि नहीं. एंटी वीमेन कुछ है कि नहीं देखेंगे यहाँ पे. Okay. Rampal Alok Thakur is saying, I have seen a lot of Buddhist gurus doing Brahmin bashing wherever they go, even though Brahmins have always considered Buddha as an avatar of Lord Vishnu. Yeah. Why are they always bashing Brahmins? यही तो narrative है. But have you seen neo Buddhist gurus do that, or all Buddhist gurus do that? If they are doing that, then they are very uneducated. Rohan Satra is saying, Radha, I mean, do you think that we need to take any steps in good level to decommunize Bengal? Because social media is mainly ruled by commies. Yeah. So I don't think social media will be helpful of that. Social media is ruled by commies, इसलिए ज़्यादा इफेक्ट होगा सोशल मीडिया में ही, क्योंकि सब लोग सारे के सारे पूरा दिन सोशल मीडिया में ही है. वहाँ पे जाके डिबेट करो, डिबेट में फाड़ दो सबको, और उससे ज़्यादा कुछ करोगे तब तो जिंदा नहीं रहोगे. बाकी लोग बाकी स्टेट में बोलते हैं ना कि फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच नहीं है. बाकी स्टेट्स के लिबरल्स और इंडिक विंगर्स दोनों को ही पता नहीं है कि बंगाल में क्या हो रहा है. उनको बाकी स्टेट्स के लिबरल्स बोल रहे हैं कि हाँ फैशिज्म चल रहा है यहाँ पे. बाकी स्टेट्स के इंडिक विंगर्स बोल रहे हैं कि बीजेपी क्या कर रहा है, बीजेपी से क्या होगा वोट देने से. बंगाल में आके देखो कि क्या नेसेसिटी है. लग्जरी और नेसेसिटी का डिफरेंस समझ में आ जाएगा. Okay guys, see you on tomorrow. We will do Manusmriti as well, chapter 5. Okay, thanks guys, thanks for joining the live stream. See you guys tomorrow.